Bum, bum. Hey, welcome. It's the PSy Tai Podcast. Your host, PSy Tai here. Getting everything situated. Hopefully you're having a wonderful morning, evening, night, midnight special. Whatever time is coming at y'all. Y'all know what it is. Enjoy this energy. Take part in the atmosphere. We got some kind of conversation. Cue that intro real quick. Hey, once again, I'm here. Let me pop this out, copy this, get the chat up in here. Just Tainow is a place where we combine our mind with our heart, see what our gut mind is saying, connect all those three circles, and let whatever come out, just come on out. How I do this? Go to the little chat box right there. Studio, let it go. Hey. There we go. There we go. I got some new people in the Discord. I'm gonna share the link to the Discord. Place you can come in, tie some things together, talk things out. Test. Make sure I'm actually in the Discord. Check out my bro Wild Man Ninja too. He going with his YouTube channel, a lot bigger nowadays. He just uploaded this DMT breakthrough video. I'm gonna check that out when I get the chance. Or probably live. That one was corny. Alright. Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. That's you up in that kitchen. Trust your intuition. Just make sure you wash your dishes. Just make sure you wash your dishes, and then you watch your witches, and watch your wishes come true. And that's just what they gon' do. They hopped up on that train and made you look insane, but you knew that it wasn't lazy. They just was calling you crazy. You was up in that world. You was thinking about them thoughts, but you ain't care about them things. That's why you did it or not. Them things that they said not to do, that's how things you made true. I'm just playing. So try to share this along. All right. It's good times though. Smoking good, been smoking some hemp wraps more lately than tobacco. It's the difference in how I'm able to like really pronounce myself, say my words, be a little more present while still being in outer space. Cause that's where I recognize I'm there all the time. So it's been good having energy 10 o'clock at night. All right. I'm gonna get in what I was gonna talk about. So I'm the only person here. Might as well jump right into it. Put on the headphones. All right, yeah. Today I was popping up some articles, and I ran across this video talking about Bufotenine, which is Bufotenine, which is found in the toad. I'm gonna look this up for y'all. Bufotenine. There it is. Let's go through this. Some cool things in there. I guarantee you'll learn something. But I gotta turn this so I flip this camera around. Watch this. Magic. How did he do that? Yeah. Bufotenine, tenine is a trip. Let's look at the what they wrote on. Is a tryptamine derivative related to the neurotransmitter serotonin. It's an alkaloid found in some species of toad, especially the skin, mushrooms, and plants. There are actually some mushrooms with 5-HO-DMT in there. Let's see which one's in there. I think it's like the Anamitas sometimes. 4-hydroxy-5-methoxydimethyltryptamine, 4-HO-5-MeO-DM2, or ciliomethicin is a novel psychedelic drug. I never heard of that. Oh, let's see what this is. It's the counterpart of psilocin. It is a psychedelic tryptamine, but very little is known about it. The only report of it is in the chemical literature was a paper published by Mark Julie's group in 1965. Oh, it's they synthesized it. I'm like, what? I thought it was like found in nature. But yeah. If y'all know about, we've been on this a bunch of times about DMT, how it's also found in mushrooms when it has the oxygen molecule added to it, so that it's can be edible and digested, the DMT, without needing an MOAI or stuff like that. And it's harder to talk with these headphones on. I just talk like this unless somebody pops on. There it is. I'm gonna keep the headphones off. But yeah, we got the 5-MeO-DMT found in the also called Bufotenine, and I was talking about how it's also found in mushrooms like DMT period. We typed in DMT and then dimethyltryptamine in medical talk. It's a hallucinogen tryptamine drug, also known as Dimitri. We talked about this a million times on the channel. I smoked it before, vaporized it. Some people talked about their experiences, it being very close and akin to the spiritual and what people will call mythical experiences that people had long time ago. But when you inhale the substance or inject it intravenously like they do in the clinical settings, check out Dr. Rich Strassman's research, you experience that for yourself in today's time, whatever time you find yourself in. So I'm very interested in this category of tryptamines. Tryptamines all coming from something called, similar to something called trypto. I'm gonna be spelling a lot of stuff wrong, but good thing we got Google help out. Tryptophan. Tryptophan is an amino acid needed for normal growth in infants and for the production and maintenance of the body's proteins, muscles, enzymes, and neurotransmitters. And some of these tryptophans actually turn into tryptamines and stuff like that. The serotonin is see how we produce this in our body. Let me see. Tryptophan, DMT, serotonin. But yeah, dietary tryptophan is the precursor for the synthesis of serotonin, 5-HT, melatonin, DMT and 5-HO-DMT, bufotenine. DMT is synthesized via decarboxylation of tryptophan by AADC to produce tryptamine, which is then double methylated, utilizing adomet as a meth donor. I don't know what adomet is. I don't know what the fuck that means. So we're going to click on this. But it's a huge relationship between the neurochemistry that's already happening in our body and the experiences that a lot of us have during our daily do. And be like, oh, I can't explain it to people. Or some people say, oh, I saw aliens, or I see color, or I see the world differently than you. I just think differently than you. The way that my thoughts encounter me, the way that I think about things when I'm observing a situation or an experience is different. It's trippy. It's related to these people that say they take mushrooms. You know how people sometimes say, oh, I don't need mushrooms to get what y'all experience. So I don't need the tryptamines or stuff to do that. And it's something major, it's something big to that. It's something big to that because we already have everything we need. But these experiences, when you actually and take it, it brings you, it ups it so much that it just makes you believe and it just bring you to that world of research. It makes you believe, but then it makes you want to research if it's really true. And then the research points to the experiences, and that's what makes all of this tie all together. But look at this. Let's see what's going on. It's a powerful serotonergic psychedelic whose endogenous administration elicits striking psychedelic effects in humans. Studies have identified DMT and analogous compounds 5-hydroxy-DMT, 5-methoxy-DMT, alongside of an enzyme capable of synthesizing DMT endogenously from tryptamine. What are they talking about in this? Hold on. Genetic approaches, the study of endogenous. Oh, this is talking about the DMT that's already in your body. And that's what I was talking about too with this, because I found this cool article, which this all going to lead up to, that came out in 1995. I thought the latest one that I was going to find was, oldest one was 2003, but it's also one in 1995. It was an article in Japan relating to autism studies too, 5-MeO-DMT and the bufotenine and stuff like that. And like I said, you see how the tryptophan is already always endogenous in our body. It's something that we produce to produce different kinds of enzymes. Let's get that right. Yeah, it's the precursor for the synthesis of serotonin, melatonin, DMT, 5-HO-DMT. That's pretty cool. So the significance, let's see what they wrote. The significance of the presence of powerful psychedelic and serotonin antagonists, DMT, and similar psychedelic compounds in mammalia, including human bodily fluids, remain unclear as it did when the first report surfaced in 1950s and 60s. There they go right there. Reported an enzyme in rabbit lung that methylated tryptamine to DMT. So yeah, that's the breathing, the hydrotropic breathing, and just conscious breathing, period. Activate the endogenous DMT. So I guess those studies that you see a lot of people in the psychedelic space talk about, that they never really cite, but just say, hey, just go do it. I know I say that too. Just go do it. Talk about myself. But this would be something to have to really go into and find. But it's not even popping up. I thought I'd be able to find it just by clicking on this. Let's see, read full text. Enhancement of creative expression and entropic phenomena as after effects of repeated ayahuasca ceremonies. Oh, that's something totally different. But that's still something decent. Then more creative, more in the space, more in your own zizzy zone. Okay. We're going to keep this heated. It ain't going to slow us down. Y'all can see all the links to the top of this if y'all want to find it and do some stuff on your own. What is rapid lung? Rabbit lung. Let's see what that is. How many lungs does rabbit have? The rabbit lung after acute smoke inhalation. Let me just type in like, what is? Is it a respiratory disease? I don't know what he's talking about. I guess he is just saying a rabbit's lung. Okay. Because now I'm reading the rest of the sentence. And brain coincided with the cloning of a rabbit or rabbit. Y'all break this down in the comments for me when y'all finally watch this shit. This afforded employment of a battery. Yeah. I don't know what they're talking about in this. I'm actually going to just post this in the... There we go. Post that right in there. Well, yeah, we'll circle back around to all the little juicy information and stuff like that. But I was leading up to this article right here. Wait, not that one. That was the one we found later. Where is it? Oh, man. I swore I had the article already up. Oh, there it is. I got two different windows. Yeah, here goes the one from 1995. Bufotenine reconsidered as a diagnostic indicator of psychiatric disorders. This is by in Takeda Akita, those K. Oba and M. Kondo. Now let's read the abstract. We have analyzed products of the serotonin degradative pathway in both methylserotonin and bufotenine are formed in urine specimens of products with psychiatric disorders by three-dimensional HPLC with electrochemical detection. Bufotenine, so that's how they detect the electrochemical. Bufotenine was detected in urine from all autistic patients and mental retardation and epilepsy. In many autistic patients, 32 out of 47 with mental. Yeah, I mean, this thing, like, I got this microphone is like in the way. I got to keep dipping around it to switch between sentences. So my bad with this butchered reading. So let's start that right here. In many patients, 32 out of 47 with mental retardation, bufotenine was detected in the urine of 15 of 18 patients with depression. 13 of 15 schizophrenic patients were also positive for bufotenine. Methylserotonin was also detected in some cases of each disorder. Only 2 of 200 urine specimens from healthy controls were positive for bufotenine. Thus, the presence and levels of bufotenine might be useful in important markers of some psychiatric disorders, says these doctors. From 1995, they've been finding this out. I got another one too. This was a more recent one in 2010. Elevated levels of bufotenine in patients with autistic spectrum disorders and schizophrenia. And they say in the objective, previous studies have suggested that endogenous psychomimetic molecule bufotenine N-dimethyl-5 ideotryptamine. They probably was talking about that Japanese study may play a role in the pathogenesis of severe mental disorders. The potential association of bufotenine with the clinical features of autism and schizophrenia is not entirely understood. In this study, we measure urinary levels of bufotenine in subjects with autistic spectrum disorder, ASD, schizophrenia, in healthy comparison subjects free of psychiatric symptoms, so they think. But we also sought to assess whether urine concentrations of this molecule may be associated with clinical characteristics of psychiatric patients. The design was measured using a high-performance liquid chromogrammetry mass spectrometry. So that's what they were saying in the Japanese one, that they was using an electricity thing. In young adults with severe ASD, patients with schizophrenia, and healthy control subjects. They used the Vineland Adaptive Behavior Scale used to measure adaptive behaviors in LSD individuals. The results, the levels were significantly, of the bufotenine was significantly higher in ASD subjects and schizophrenia compared to the controls. Dang, they was like in the 3.3, 4.9. The control was in 1.5. They still had a little something though. Hey, you well? Hey, yeah, I know he was live too. I just gotta make sure I go live on this side too, or YouTube won't push out the videos no more. If I don't stay up to date on the PSy Tai Podcast, they won't support, they won't push it. The algorithm won't fuck with me like that. But shout outs to True Life Stories. I'll be on there all day, every day. That's my bro. He said the body makes many chems that don't make it to the urine. But let me move this over. Yeah, I bet you will. I bet there's so many other chemicals that they missing out on by just testing the urine. But I like that this is a start for proof. Like a scientific, in the scientific world, how we look at science. Hey, if I do this once, if I do this twice, if I do this 100 times, it's probably gonna happen the 113th time. So I'm glad it's gonna help, hopefully, for future scientists out there, future developers that's in this field of research or in finding their latest PhD paper, can look for a new way to see what kind of tryptamines is going on in our bodies. Find new ways to testing for it without going back to the old ways, like how they used to be. But I was looking at how they used to like cut people bodies open and their brains and stuff, and literally like to see what was going on. But that was what they had. I was looking at this thing. They just literally used to drill a hole in your brain to alleviate headaches or something like that. Ooh, who signed up for that? But moving on to the future, there's going to be a lot of hopefully non-invasive technologies that allow us to scan our bodies and see what's going on in the fluids. Because once it interacts with oxygen and all this other things, even like if you just cut it open and stuff, it's already changing. So there's no telling was dissipating. It was just going out. That's a good point, Yuel. But this is amazing that this is something that's known in the scientific field, but since it's not studied that much, they're not going to talk about it as evidently. Like, hey, this is things that happen. The technology advances the idea's potentials. Yeah, yep. Because then you get to really be a little more curious without thinking you're going to murder somebody. Or just seeing what the software is capable of. Like how we was able to, Exile always brings up, Toy Story was invented on a computer from like the 90s. And it's still like relevant to this day. Like we can have the technology, it's just what can we do with it? What do we know? What do we know what to use it for? That's when you start opening up the mind. Like, yo, what can we actually use this for, bruh? But I found that connection with just them doing this right here, because I've been tying on that for a long time about the connection between people that see lights in the sky, aliens, that see apparitions, spirits, creepy crawlies in the dark, tap on the shoulders, or even people that try not to call themselves schizophrenic, but say that they hear voices. And say, well, I'm not schizophrenic though. But that's because of the stigma that's been put on it, and that's kind of how it was put out in the first place. It wasn't made as a word to really help people. I mean, yeah, it made a word to diagnose people, but not really to say, hey, this is really what's going on. Since we're calling you a schizophrenic, we know everything. Still, he's like science and still doesn't know anything about doesn't know most things about it. So with all of these experiences, people going around, like we always tapped in. We are always tapped in. And then we're seeing, experiencing with this study, we can see that it's different strokes for different folks. Different strokes for different folks. And when people come up with in their lifetimes with their different cultures, and I like say, hey, we're all together because we all think like this, or we all encountered this kind of reality, so we think that this works. Like, them people was all tripping. Like they say, you got the mushroom people, got the DMT people, or you got your broccoli people, got your meat eating people, the meat people that was eating meat. Like how they say when you eat, everything you put in your body is interacting with the chemicals, that's already in your body. So, hey, you eating meat. How you feeling afterwards? What are you opened up to? You eating vegetables, you eating broccoli, you eating grass, you eating bugs, you eating seafood. And what is the human experience in all of this too? Like, just in it for the experience, or should it be curated and say, hey, I only do this? Or is that really like how you see, and this is the nitty gritty too, and why I don't get into particular diets all the time, unless it's like what my body is calling for. Because that's just like to me arguing over crack, cocaine, weed, mushrooms, meth. It's like, hey man, I only do meth, man. I don't smoke that other stuff. I only do DMT. Now I probably will stay away from meth because it's my personal choice. But y'all get where I'm going. When it comes to food and stuff, these are all different experiences. And these are all different experiences that we're allowing ourselves to go through. Like, you get the sugar high, like you eat some sugar, you give it to a kid, you really see it. An adult is used to it because you eat sugar so much that we're like kind of just keeping up the high. Literally keeping up the high, that state of mind. Those ideas, what we tapped into. Like, everything is a literal drug. It's like, what is your drug of choice? What is your plant? What is your food of choice? But it's all made up of electrons, protons, electrons, neutrons. And it's all, you get even deeper than that when you get into the quarks and stuff like that, into the quantum world, quantum aspect. But it's all based around the same chemical. So what is there to really be afraid of but the experience of what it brings about? And that's what we see too, the experience of what different foods and different foods have. And it's still so trippy. It's still so trippy because it's still up to the individual. And that's what makes the psychedelic, the tryptamine, so powerful out of all of these drugs, out of all of these chemicals that we introduce to our system, out of everything else. Because it makes the human like aware of the situation of like kind of everything else that's going on. Like in the mind, like, oh, this is what I'm eating. Oh, this is, or people become more interested in science, interested in music, interested in art, interested in themselves in different ways that they want to introduce to the culture. Like, hey, I figured out this new thing, or I see what they was talking about a long time ago, and this how it relates to what's going on now. So yeah. So so nobody, so I'm going into like when people say people crazy and people thinking different things, everybody's that form of crazy, or everybody's that form of being of taking some type of drug that feels good to them. Like you hear vegans now. You hear vegans a lot now saying, hey, this is the way to stay connected with God. When I eat like a vegan, I feel more connected to spirit. I don't feel weighted down. I feel like I'm lighter. I feel like I can breathe. I feel like I'm more connected to my body because not a bunch of bullshit in the way. Just eating the plants and the vegetables and stuff like that. But it's just that in itself is just a high. Like, hey, if you don't do this and do that, you're gonna and you know how rituals work too. How rituals of the mind, what you're preparing your mind to do, and how you looking at a subject, an experience going into it. You're already warping your experience already. Already trying to warp the experience already. You always said spectrum is always about feeling some way, but then trying to control others the same. Yeah, yep, and that's why I say you see everybody doing with all these drugs, with every single experience. Every single experience, if you want to really get down to it. I know what you like to get down to the nitty gritty too. Not even just food affects us, but what we're looking at, how we're, the environment that we're actually in. And I'm talking about people giving vacations and making massages, like they creating an experience like, hey, I felt like this. Now, like, not really control. It's different because vegans, they be like, hey man, you got to do this or you're not going to feel like connected to God. But I see that, hey, that's just how that's how you get high. That's how you get high. You don't eat that and then you say, I eat this, and then your mind say, okay. And there's actually a lot of cool chemicals inside the plant that interact with your body, or when you got your mind set on a certain thing, that's what you're gonna get. Now, as for health and everything, when it comes to health, actually getting your body checked for your iron levels and stuff like that, that's where a lot of vegans like fail. And a lot of people trying to so-called eat healthy, period. It's like, so let's just see what's going on with your whole body. Get your blood levels checked. I'm finally about to do that for myself. I finally got health insurance, proper health insurance, and medical, like dental insurance. So I'm be on top of all of that. So for the future coming on out, I can know what I'm doing and optimize my reality for myself instead of just the sayings of others. Because I don't really know what's going on with me. Because I was vegan before too, and I was like saying, hey man, this is what I gotta do to be healthy. Sounds cool. Get all this vegan meat. Eat all these processed oils. Eat all these processed oils. Sound like it's good for my body. Because I'm thinking it's just oils. It's better than the meat. And I don't know all those words, but then, hey, you find out about a lot of the vegan foods is actually worse for your bodies in the long run. Worse for your body. And that a lot of the sayings, and that's what I mean by really curating a high, and how the people that really know what's going on is curating people's highs all the time and having them feel so excited about something like that. That is all life for everything. People that just eat meat, people that just eat vegetables, people that say, I don't eat junk food no more, I don't drink soda, all of them things. So yeah, so all of those things come into play when it comes to curating somebody's high, because it's going to be offered. It's going to be offered in many different avenues. And people gonna get hook, line, and sinker just like that, thinking that is everything because people are in search of a need. I'm in search of people in search of a need, but really you don't need anything. You don't need anything but the things that you already have around you. That you already have around you. Because I'll tell you, microdosing mushrooms really allows me to see what's going on without reacting to it, or without getting in, without knowing that I'm signing up for something if I choose to do it, without saying, hey, this is what I need for my life, or I feel like I'm going to die, or this is what I need right now because this situation is happening. It just feels like, hey, this is what I'm doing for the time being. I'm aware that this is happening. It's not the end of the world, but it's happening right now. So with all of the skills that I have, I can bring to the table and actually operate on operate on the operating table. Do some real surgery on the operating table instead of having my hands slip and say, oopsie, oops, what happened there? I don't know. Just really see what's going on for myself. And that's how you change the world. Because that, from Biggie, they said they can't change the world till you change yourself. And like I was saying, microdosing with the mushrooms and just participating in the psychedelic meditation experience allowed me to know what I'm getting myself caught up into. So it allows me to be more relaxed about everything. Even if I'm upset, even if I'm so mad and like thoughts start popping up, it's like if I can see if I go into it, and then if I choose to go into it, it's like, hey, that's what you decided to do. Or it's like, hey, this is what's going on. Now I can look at that like a puzzle. Instead of having all the puzzle pieces around me and be like, oh man, I don't know how to work this thing. Because I still don't know how to work it. But you start working off of intuition. Intuition is the fucking magic. I was just tying into Terrence McKenna, and he was talking about intuition and science, and how science is the same thing like intuition, but it's like a strategic thing because it has to happen more than once. Like if it happens more than once, then it's considered science. If it happens like and you question it, then they would consider it intuition. And so he was going into how mathematics is the way that science, which is like something that is just as magical as everything else, science uses math in order to so-called have a grounding in reality. Even though it's still all up in the air. You see, new methods of math and stuff is invented all the time. But yeah, when you really get to the significance of why I titled this autism and the DMT and the serotonin and everything that's endogenous in our body, a lot of the myths and legends that you look out and like see humans talking about, it will start making a lot more sense when you start saying, hey, were these people just sitting around making this shit up? Or did they actually experience this? Because it brings about a sort of genius. Randall Carlson, he was on Joe Rogan episode like a week ago, and he was talking about the civilizations and how we probably was wiped out a lot of times, and that we had to start all over. We had to literally start all over as human beings, and now have the knowledge that we had like 20,000 years ago or 40,000 years ago. And he was talking about Plato and Atlantis. He was saying how he made like 8-hour podcasts, each with like 2-hour segments and shit, just breaking down Atlantis and how it wasn't all about the flying cars and vehicles and like the magic essence of it and stuff, but it literally was a place where a lot of people got a lot of culture together, a lot of trade going on, and they were really highly valued compared to, well, highly technologically advanced compared to the civilizations that are around them, that were around them. But he went in. He was going in about the civilizations being wiped out, and just imagine that memory wiped. A whole civilization being, and that memory wiped, he was saying, being caused by asteroids and meteorites. And well, a meteorite. Meteorite is when a meteor hits the earth. Hey, well, yeah, I see. Yeah, Randall Carlson, he was talking about a meteorite, meteorites hitting the earth, and how that was probably a common thing. And he was talking about Satan in the Greek mythologies, and how Satan represented the Dracoid constellation and the shoulder in it. And he was talking about pinpointing a meteor shower that was happening in that part of the sky around a particular moment that the mythology was written, and how that's what they was talking about, and that's why they called it Satan, because it literally killed the people. It literally killed the people. It was their adversary. The only adversary to the people are the comments. Satan means adversary. He said, oh, it's the bridge to another level you're on. That's when it starts. Yeah, the sky rained, fire, all of that. They was dying, literally. And then they wrote it as myths because every year the same time, just like Halley's Comet. Halley's Comet was a big myth that I always used, not myth. I remember always hearing about that because I used to go to the Franklin Institute Museum a lot growing up. They used to talk about Halley's Comet coming around every few years, every few odd years. But these were events that us as humans were sighting in the skies happening, and using the terminology of the time to describe what was going on, like how we talk about computers all the time and how we literally see technology. They were seeing different things, and we see different things too today. Like we see things, we still see dragons and things today. But yeah, humans are some special creatures. Everything's a special creature too, because when you really look at it, you see how plants contain these tryptamines as well. Everything is containing an experience. And what is that experience? But when it's titled down to interaction of chemicals. The chemicals interacting with each other. And beyond that, having their whole life. Like they probably have whole civilizations plotted out. And that's why they even, to our eyes and senses, are organized the way that they're organized. It's a higher order to everything. or lower or inner order, outer order, however it come to you first. Like, why does a snowflake appear like a snowflake? Like, it's straight up fractal. Like that, I think that example is put out to humans to put into art and stuff and talk about in schools because it pops out a lot. Everything pops out. Like me looking at the bark of the tree right now, that house pops out to me. The same way as I'm about to tie about this, the snowflakes. The snowflakes. Like, what is the mind that created the snowflake to be a snowflake? To be all fractalized, symmetrical, just like that flower of life pattern that's behind me right now. That contains the what we call as humans the seed of life. It starts off as the circle and then it like rotates 30 degrees, imprints. Just keep rotating imprint on his axis, and then you can create that whole pattern. That whole pattern. And then you find that pattern found in different atom expressions. Hey, you said humans can express the special of others, I think was the change. Yeah, humans we do that. Express the special of others. Cause other people, you don't see lions walking around say, "Hey man, I saw this human the other day, and he made a house. Like, yo, we gotta learn how to make a house like that human did. Or we gotta learn how to dress like that human did. Like, when we kill that zebra, let's put it on. Let's make a jacket out of it." I think it's this camera too. I'm using the XSplit. Let me check on here. All right, I'm gonna keep this other window open too, just to keep things double checked. Yeah, if you don't see lions, you don't see animals trying to express what a human is doing. Anything. We're the ones that go around saying, "Hey man, I like how you acting as a lion and stuff like that. Let me learn from you. Let me see. I like how you take care of your cubs." And stuff like we do that innately and stuff. We already do that. But I'm saying the curiosity. Y'all know where I'm tying about stuff. How we say we learn from nature. Like we learn from nature if we are nature. That was the change. And then we act so confused with that change. Like, wait, I'm the one observing nature. I'm not nature. And then you got people that's reminding other folks, "Hey, you're nature, bruh. You're nature. Like, take your shoes off every once in a while. Walk around the grass. Breathe a little bit. You're nature." It's like, wait, that's not what I'm thinking, though. Because my thinking seems outside of all of this. Looking at it. That change is something that's still, I mean, it's always been relevant to human beings, but it's something that we're still, a lot of humans still struggle with. It's still a paradox. It's still a paradox to human beings. How are we living? All right, the stream's current bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. We recommend when you stream, finish the sentence, that your bit rate is 4,500. Let's say they want me to up the bit rate. Okay, I'll do that next time. It says good connection though. Okay, bang bang. And what caused that change? What caused that change? That's what a lot of people try to talk about too. What caused that change? to not just use the elements around us. Because I was thinking, hey, yeah, we made fire and stuff like that, and we use tools. But apes use tools. A lot of different animals use tools in ways that we don't even recognize. Hey, yo, you said I like how you fly as bird or swim. Yeah. And then we go and imitate it. We invent flippers. I was going to say slippers. We invent slippers too. Be comfortable. Like we got fur on our feet. But yeah. We got drones so we can fly like a bird, or literal airplanes. Then we're going to have literal drones. To not just use the elements around us. Nope. And then what I was saying before, the thing about what I was saying before about the animals. Yeah, they use tools. They use tools and everything, but they're not learning it from other animals. Like they're doing it off their own instinct, off their own evolution. And so we know so far. As we know so far. I mean, not box my own self into any corner. But as we know so far, they learn off their own instincts, passing down through their own genes and having and looking at their mom and dad, how they do things and stuff like that. That's how a lot of animals learn, by looking at their mom and dad, but they're not looking at the human being. Or are they now? You know how some monkeys and stuff, like when you domesticate an animal, but they don't start acting like a human being. I'm the I'm boxing myself in the corner, jumping out of the corner. I'm thinking about Lady and the Tramp, and how they's like, hey, you a house dog. You think people supposed to feed you, but still they're not going out saying, hey, I need a fork, but they are eating out of bowls. The comedy of it all. The comedy of it all. Said maybe just one animal was ready, then it became a group. Yeah, it's good. The one animal go out and just see what happens. Like True was saying, the one little ant that go off the trail. Everybody walking on the trail like, hey, we found this scent, we're going there and we're going to bring whatever we found back, and we could find a way there by just tracking, looking at our brothers and sisters, aunties and uncles. Now the one ant was just walking away, and just what does that ready mean? The moment, like, you don't know you ready till you ready. You don't know you ready till the time happens. There probably was a different one, couple ready ones, but they wasn't able to pass it on in their genes. Like they's like, oh, this one didn't work. This one didn't work. And then at last. No, going back to the animals and stuff, yeah, we're able to contemplate what animals doing, what we think they're up to, and then yeah, it's like we're all doing the same thing. We're all doing the same thing. Really, you will. Really, you will. All doing the same thing. It's until it comes down what you mentioned before. The one thing is that expressing others. The special of others. But as we mature, the planet of the apes, the planet of the apes. Where's that song at? For Forbidden Zone by. Oh wow. I'm just gonna let it pop up. The Misfits. I'm like, why is it not coming up? It's a song by the Misfits called "The Forbidden Zone." And if you ever see the Planet of the Apes, 1968 version, 1967, Charles Heston, I think. I watched that so many times growing up. I love that. I love how it plays out, and the intelligence and everything of the apes and the chimpanzees, and how they so-called intelligence brought them to the state of having religion, and then having the person that was the one ape that was curious about the human beings and then want to just look at them like slaves, and as literal slaves, and not having a conscious mind. Because in the Planet of the Apes, they was like, hey, these humans don't have conscious thoughts. Like they're just beasts of the field. they was never saved. Like they had this holy monkey Caesar that saved them all and gave them gave them true intelligence. Look, it was wow. It was the Planet of the Apes is cool, but it's this song by the Misfits called "The Forbidden Zone." You gotta check it out when you get the chance. It's a punk rock song. So it's real, like 146 beats a minute, probably just real like fast like that. But some say that's where man began, on this wasted piece of land where evolution's yet to show. Forbidden Zone. And the Forbidden Zone, if you remember was the place where the apes were not able to go, because it held the secret to their true existence and where the apes actually came from. But only a few select people knew. I always found that like an interesting part, that a few selected apes knew what happened. And then when you really go into the big thing, the new Planet of the Apes, where they was literally working on the apes, like giving them medicines, and the new ones that came out. It's a cool analogy. Blasting out into space, the Planet of the Apes evolution's one hero, crossing a plane into another dimension, 1,000,000 years into the future, crossing a path into a dimension, we the unseen. Back on Earth is all you read about, all the evidence destroyed. Maps and legends mark the firewalls. We lost abandoned saviors of the Forbidden Zones. We shall sustain the Forbidden Zone. So he like talking about, hey, the Forbidden Zone is where all the real stuff is at. Let me move this over. Oh, I keep clicking on the wrong one. There it goes. Where the real one's at. And when you're talking about firewalls, you're talking about a place where you're not supposed to go. They say, hey, don't go there. Don't go there. That's why you hear a lot of people in this reality talking about, hey, we need to go to Antarctica. Like, what are they hiding in Antarctica? Like, for real. Like, what is in Antarctica? Oh, it's too cold, technology hard to get there. They made permits with all the treaties with all the countries on how people are going to be able to go there and everything like that. Giant ice walls. And the Garden of Eden is different for most folks. Isn't that right? Because what was described in the literature, the lore of the Bible, of the taming of the animals, being able to talk, the fruits all being there, that's all a mind state. And that mind state can be applied to many different environments. And when told in story format, it would be displayed as whatever is comfortable to the observer. Like, that's what you thought. That's what you thought was happening. Really, you was inside of a lab. Or inside of a pod, or sitting in a chair in a VR room. or whatever the case. Whoever says that they really know, and turn a side eye to. How you know? How you know for sure? How you know for sure? Like, I know, and I know for sure, and I know for sure. But then it's a for sure, and it's a for sure, and it's a for sure, and you'll hear that echo out into infinity. Wait, I think I can actually do that. For sure. Make sure I change the back. All right. I was thinking of you. Well, that game. It's an RPG game that I always forget the title about, but I played it. Well, it'll come to me eventually. I played the title of it. I played it. Blah blah blah. How I played the title of it, but I went into the title and I played the game, and or I read the title, and but it was about these people, this civilization that went around birthing different groups of people on different worlds. On multiple worlds, and they did it through collecting the DNA. So, like, even with that story of Noah's Ark, it could have been a whole just the DNA without actually needing the animal, but just having the DNA of it or the essence of it. Cause that's what they called their ship too, Noah's Ark. But in the end of the game, reality restarted, and it was like a new Garden of Eden and stuff like that. I talked about it before, so I can't remember right now. Yeah. I need some more water. Just chilling right now. Gonna keep this going. Thank you, well, for still being here on the PSy Tai Podcast. This is a very special one. Very special one. I was learning a lot yesterday about appearances. Not learning a lot, like just always just reiterating. Just going back into it. Just being you, who you are. Just being who you are. And knowing that who you are is going to be different for the multiple situations, but that comes with the relaxation. That comes with actually relaxing, because then you allow yourself to actually be who you are in that situation and not just be caught up in your head. Actually be. Now, you said they have groups starting the certified trip sitters. I wonder what's the qualifications. What's the qualifications? And who holding that organization up? Who's that person? So you gotta be careful. I'm just saying you gotta be careful with a lot of these organizations. Like, I heard a Compass going into the stocks and everything and holding illegality in the shroom industry, like trying to get the stocks and have their company in America and stuff like that. But they never do mushrooms before, a lot of them. I remember Paul Stamen said he was talking to him. I was like, what? I like, but you started a mushroom company. Hey, that's how mushrooms work. Like, we're gonna get out here some kind of way. But yeah, it is business. It is a business. Because that's how ideas are. An idea is going to flourish. An idea is going to bloom. It's going to be watered. It's going to be say, hey, yeah, that is cool. That is something you can do. Or that is some way I can support my lifestyle. Feed my kids. Or support myself, buy that car. Because ideas can be for whatever reason you want it to be. Tell me how you I ran into, when I first started coming to Chico, I was still like searching because I came out here with no family and stuff like that. So I was trying to find some people to like hang around. And so I ran across this pastor when I was working at the thrift store, and he had brown skin and everything. So I was like, hey man, it's like familiar kin as being out here in Chico with a lot of people that's really fair skinned. So I went to his church and stuff, and they was talking about money all the time. Like, I'm not all the time, but they was talking about money, like specifically for a sermon. And from the church I came to, they was like, oh, if you ever hear somebody talking about that, like, run away. No. So I was like, I don't know if I should be going here. And I was already iffy with the church thing, period. But so I was I kind of just went twice, 2 or 3 times, and then that was about it. They was cool people while I was there though. I just had all these other ideas about things, so I stopped going. But tell me how he never escaped from my conscious view, like my visual view. Like, I seen he used to still come to Goodwill when I was working there, but even years later, I would run into him at the park. He'll be riding by, we'll say what's up and stuff, he say how things going on, and he has a vibe about him that every time I'm around him, it's really uplifting. Like, he be having the glasses on, and like the gold trim glasses, having a car, dressing nice, and I just ran into him again last week, and I found out he doing food delivery too on the side. So I was like, yo, he a real hustler. He's a real hustler and just a real person. A real person. It really made me appreciate him a lot more. And I was telling him about the business. He said, yeah. I said, yeah, I'm doing the animation and stuff. And he's like, you doing it? Or, I mean, because he was saying, how can you help me out and stuff like that? Because he liked to see what I'm into and just like motivate me and stuff. He said, so you getting into it or you already doing it? I was like, man, I'm already doing it. He just had me in that kind of, I'm already doing it, bro. I can hook you up with this kind of thing, website going on. He's like, oh, can you animate me? I'm like, yeah, I can animate. Try to scan you with my phone, bring in the blender. I can make that thing work. So it was really fun. Just getting along with people, not going along with preconceived thoughts and thinking that they going to think certain things about you and stuff like that. But just saying, hey, I'm a person, you're a person, we all in this world trying to make some stuff happen. And have fun with it. Especially I like when people are actually able to smile with it. And it was funny. I showed him the website. He's like, yeah, psychedelic podcast. Join people, talk about the stories that you talk and stuff like that. Because I always didn't want to talk about psychedelics around them. I was like, oh, you just find out on your own if you figure it out. But at that moment, it's like, hey, everything's solidified. You know who I am now. I know who you are. And we both still just having fun. And we can keep building. We can build from there. He said, yeah, letting go, projecting beliefs. Yep, projecting beliefs. Because a lot of people don't even know when they fucking projecting beliefs in the first place. But you can hear it in little words that they saying as they approach the situation. Even if feel like they prepping themselves. Like, oh, did they looking at this, start fixing their hair or doing this or that? Like me going like this. Like, are they looking at Rudy hair in my hair? Probably nobody even noticed it. Or somebody did notice it. It's always a hit and miss. But it's still a projection. That don't have to happen. Or if you're going to project something, just project something good. But that can be iffy too, because you don't want to project something too good on something that's obviously hurting you. And then you just sit there getting hurt forever and be all dolly doll confused. Isn't that right? I'm about done with this blunt pretty soon. I gotta get an oil change at 12 o'clock. Not gonna let what happened to my last car happen to this one. The only reason my other car broke down on this because I didn't get the oil change. Still sitting there in the lot. Gonna see if I can get that thing to the garage. See if there's anything wrong with it too much. See if they can fix it. But overall, I'm gonna just sell it. Put the money towards the other car. Keep on working on this thing called credit. Finally getting that credit up. Going through these programs. But that's the life. That's the life. Cause a lot of where I came from, they ain't teach you about credit. They did not teach you about how to use credit or what credit was, the ultimate value of credit in this system that we're in. Cause we looking at China now, and they about to come out with they already kind of are with the social credit system. The social credit system where it's going to be tracked with even what websites you visit and stuff like that, and where you eat and what you post. That's wild. But still, we already got that in America because credit didn't always exist. We just made that up. Well, a group of people made that up not too long ago. I think in the 50s or 60s. What's the codes on cars? I'm not sure what you mean. It's an Infinity. It's an Infinity 2003. I'm trying to get rid of. Or the code on how to get a car? But no. Yeah, moving forward with everything. Oh. What's the code on the car that has issue? I don't know the code. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, it's just the engine light on. It's just the engine light on. It has stopped. It has stopped when I was when we was coming back from a trip, from like a 2-hour trip. It stopped on the expressway, and they had said that the AAA person said the engine looked like that is seized up. That's what they said. Looked like it had a seized engine. And I was like, that kind of means I gotta replace it, right? And I was looking online too, a replacement engine. I only see like 1-2 people selling it. It was like 2 stacks for a replacement engine. But overall, it's a 2003 Infinity. I mean 2004 Infinity, so it's an older car. So that's how I'd get the stacks up and able to like customize that thing out. Trying to use the money to pay some bills. And eventually pimp this Honda out. Just like in GTA. Yeah, just like in GTA. Get some LED lights. Respond to the music on the inside, since I'm always in there. No, I definitely am. Oh, income tax season. Yup, it's income tax season. People got some play money. People got some play money. I gotta do mine. That's all. That's here now, here or there. People got some play money. Definitely the market to be selling a lot of things right now. Definitely on that. Cause it's just sitting there. I'm still paying insurance on that. That's just how I'm right now. I gotta pay insurance on it. It's $56. But I think this is gonna be the last month I do that. And I only did that so I can still get the towing. But I was like so procrastinating on it. Cause you get free towing. I say even if I gotta tow it to a junkyard Like just sell it to a junkyard or something like that. But we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna put it on the market first. Niz. She can make it happen. Yeah. She can make it happen. But no, not a wizard, not a wizard of the numbers. Yeah. They said taxes help many people can use. Yeah, it's gonna be put to good use. Put to good use. And I got everything. I'm working because I'm learning everything about the business side of everything. So I'm learning about LLCs, getting the businesses licensed in your city. Like I have Just Tainow listed as a business in Chico for like arts and clothes and goods, sell goods and stuff like that. So I have a legit business license in Chico, and now I'm learning about getting an LLC and getting different LLCs and getting like bank accounts opened in the name of the LLCs and stuff like that in order to have different tax breaks and stuff like that, so that I can really have the gear and equipment to work with y'all and bring the best experience that I can. I'll be able to get the equipment, get them CPUs and GPUs up in action. Like I want to have like a gaming computer and a streaming computer, so that I can attach the gaming computer to the streaming computer, so it's like no lag, nothing ever. But it's a lot of ideas, That's just what I was visualizing for the moment. But yeah, just moving smart, just moving in this world, in the more business minded, more way with all of this is what 2022 is going to teach me how to actually do. Like even with doing the DoorDash and Uber and stuff, I gotta do my taxes as as a person that's doing things by themselves. and license everything. I got my miles tracked, was paying for this app that was tracking my miles, so it can help pay for the taxes that I will owe from working with DoorDash, just so it wasn't taken out automatically and I didn't put it to the side. Because I want to be able to teach other people how to do this and teach my brother how to do this too. So by the time he's 20 years old, he'll be all right. He'll have like A1 credit, as good as he can get it, and a couple stacks, a couple crypto, whatever he had to do, whatever it is with the times. And then he can create and do things from there. Hey, Exile 13, and matter of fact, happy birthday to my brother Lorenzo. He just turned 16 today. It is his birthday today. So thank you, Renzo, for being here, being my brother. I'ma call him. I know he not watching right now, but he here in spirit. But yeah, he turned 16. That's my only brother amongst three sisters. No, amongst four sisters. He's my brother, and he's older than all of the most of them too. So yeah. And it's exciting. It's just like playing The Sims and just learning more intricate things in the game to do and growing up and maturing alongside with it, so that I can have more peaceful, create more peaceful, relaxful situations in the future for my own personal being as well, and for whoever that chooses to I interact with, or that just blow in the wind like the butterfly effect. You just never know. Flap the wing, something happened. So if y'all ever have any ideas on credit and stuff like that, how to build credit, tips, Hey, y'all can always post them in the Discord alongside any other trippy experiences and articles that y'all run across. I'm always out there. And other people are too, even if it's not for me. And yeah, that's how you make things work. That's how you make things work. Just getting together, getting all in the puzzle, and just seeing where everything fits. But yeah. Anything new popping up? Exile? That you was interested in? Oh, have you planted anything outside yet? Yes, I have, Exile. I've been wanting to make a video of it, but I gotta really return my phone and get a new one because it's like filled with unnecessary space. But I was making a video about it. I was been doing that for the past 2 weeks, but the past 4 days I've been really like out there for 2 hours, 2 hours at a time. Getting all the pots and the dirts ready. I have at least like 30 pots with seeds and stuff in there just ready to go. I got a lot of pepper seeds from last year. I got some little seed ones. I got some big ones. I got to buy some more little seed ones because I got a lot more seeds from all of them peppers I grew. And I was trying to see if the pepper plants that I grew from last year, if they was overwintered right, I think they said is the term I was seeing on YouTube, were they able to regrow next year, or if they did, because some of them have new things coming out the shoots, but other ones they're like got green to them still, but the other ones are brown. So I'm like, I'm not sure if I pull these out, if they're gonna if I'm missing out on something because they was gonna pull shoots, or are they just dead. So I'm gonna let the brown ones sit in there a little, like another week or two, and like the triangle thing I got sat outside. Said, do you make compost? No, nope. I missed out this year. I'm just not working with that much space in this apartment. But yeah, that should be on the radar. I am getting into getting Pacific dirt. Like I know somebody that works at the plant store that's not like Home Depot, and they sell a lot of stuff there for weed and stuff too, for the cannabis people. So I'm gonna go there, and he's a real good friend of mine. So I'm gonna go there. He's gonna help me get some dirt. I'm gonna ask him some questions. I'm gonna ask him some good questions on what dirt should I get and stuff like that. But so far, I just started with good old Miracle Grow. Good old Miracle Grow from Lowe's and Costco's. And dirt that I had from the previous 2 years that I've been recycling. That I had different plants in, that herbs in, that I add nutrients to. Like I would get the little beads, they like blue and gray and stuff, that they say deposit a couple inches below the soil and stuff like that. So how many plants? I don't even know. I'm trying to make as much as I can. I just planted some sunflowers yesterday. I just saw the pack sitting on the floor. I was like, all right, let me make 7 sunflower pots, because that's how many I had. And let me just make these real fast. I have about like 25, at least like 20 something pepper plants, like habanero and the Fresno and the Shinto peppers. Yeah, I have like a lot of those going because they gave me so many seeds, and I still got to bottle out the hot sauce so I can send some samples out to y'all. I just got them right in the refrigerator. It tastes so good. I went through one bottle right now so far. So I really like growing the peppers. And I have some mint. No. Basil. I got some basil that I actually got from the dollar store, but it was already rooted. Like, it still had the roots on there, so I just put it in the pot. And I did that with the lavender too. I gotta go back and buy some more, but I want to go back and buy some more of that. And the spearmint plant that I had in the section in the garden, I broke off pieces of it. Like, I went in the dirt and cut off some of the roots at some good places, and then I put those inside of individual pots. And about 6 out of 10 of them actually didn't just dry out and die. So, so that worked out. I'm gonna keep propagating that and make more and more. And just to keep the income alive if I ever need to do so. Cause a girlfriend, she actually sells plants. Like, she sells flowers and like spider plants and stuff like that. And people in Chico, they love plants. Like, we they know what it's about when it comes to plants. So I'm gonna keep my market alive, keep the market alive, cause it's always never a reason to be broke. It's always some way to make some kind of money, and to keep yourself sane at the same time. Like, I do go insane being out there, cause I just like, all right, I'm just out here, not gonna stop until I feel like I need to stop. That's insane to some people, but to me, it's sane. It's a place of serenity, of sereneness, calmness. I play some music on the speakers, and I just go about the business. I gotta bring you a fire stick bush. Oh, what's that? Is that some kind of pepper? Fire stick? Whatever it is, I'll take it. And I have 8 cherry tomato pots. My neighbor had some big pots for me where it got the rim around it already, the green rim, so they can grow up around it and stuff like that. You just gotta put the stick in the middle. So I have about 8 cherry tomato pots going on. They already in the big pot too, so hopefully they grow. I put 3 seeds in each one. So hopefully one of them going to take off. But yeah, guys, I'm a hey, Exile and UL. I think I'm gonna tie on out of here. I gotta make this appointment. I get the oil change at 12 o'clock. It's been very awesome. Very awesome. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed it. I'm gonna title this. What did I title this again? What did I title this? Both of me autistic. Yeah. If you ever have any future research or articles that y'all ran across on this subject, I'm always interested in this kind of thing. So have a great day. Yeah, I'm gonna have a great day, Exile. You have a great day as well. Does everybody have an awesome day, a fantastic day? Peace. Hey, enjoy the ride too, UL.